Boom. We are recording. This is Conscious Growth, episode 29. We're going to talk about everything getting customers to take action at scale. Today we have our 3 pillars of content: ads, analytics, and attribution. Or actually, we're doing influencers today. Which one should we start with, Austin?
Let's start with ads because I know we got a decent bit to jump in there.
Yeah. Okay. So we had like positioning versus just volume of creative testing, and then high-end creatives versus UGC and static images working better.
Yeah.
Controversial.
Let's do stop paying for super expensive videos from agencies or people that say they're going to make videos that convert, because one, we've never seen them outperform even simple static image ads, but two, UGC and like real personal style content always does better. Just always.
I know you're thinking of people that do scripted videos too, like high-end agencies, but yeah, there's a lot of those companies doing higher end packages of like basically scripted video creative. And yeah, I know that people use them for demand gen versus demand capture, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't think we've ever been able to prove out better results on high end scripted videos for Meta, at least for Meta video ads.
Yeah, for Meta. YouTube's a totally different thing. We're talking about specifically Meta here. Yeah, you can't use a static image ad on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense with the platform. It's a platform that's like people communicating with people. And so it makes a lot of sense that if you're instead using it as a, like, look at me, instead of like a, hey, here's what I'm doing type platform, that you're not going to see the results that you want to see. Now, that isn't to say it's not good for branding. Like, yeah, creating the demand generation through a cool video, like a fucking pooping unicorn, like Squatty Potty did. Like, that's great because that sticks in people's minds forever. But the Squatty Potty one probably did lead to a decent amount of sales. But at the very least, it just created an influx of people talking about this new product, which is literally just a stool you put right by your toilet.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. I did a write-up a while back on how Purple Mattress did this when they first came out with their scripted videos. And they used it really well. And they had a system to track whether or not it was bringing in people for their conversion-based ads. But they even talk about how even the ads that they're really well known for, the Purple Mattress scripted, I think they were Harmon Brothers video ads, even those didn't necessarily convert at a high rate, but they did have to prove some of those videos' ability to bring people in. So for like demand gen marketing, but even those guys had like a very specific system to do it, and it didn't work all the time across the board. And they're like one of the most famous use cases. So the other part of this was like the positioning versus volume of creative testing. Because I know everyone right now is like, you just need to master volume of creative testing, and you need like your 6 or 7 types of creative, and you just got to hit high volume. But we talked a little about this last time. I really think that if you don't understand exactly who you're speaking to and like who they want to become, so aspirational placement of the product in terms of use case and who's actually using it in the video beyond someone just being attractive, if you don't nail that, people aren't going to look at that person and be like, oh, I want to be that person doing this thing, if they can't see themselves in their shoes. So you need this like real specific positioning, especially for lifestyle creatives.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole like the game. And that what a lot of people are pushing right now is like, if you just feed Facebook 1 billion creatives, it's going to figure out what's good for your brand. And it's like, yeah, but not if the positioning is off and the offer isn't good. If the offer isn't good, like, I mean, you could try to sell shit 400 different ways, but it's shit. I'm not saying your product is shit, but I'm saying possibly the offer that you're trying to give to people is not the one that is clear, concise, and makes them understand why this thing has to be in their life, compared to like testing images of pugs on a swing set.
Yeah.
Being like, we get the highest click-through rate out of any agency ever. We're testing baby photos for your supplement brand. It's like, this doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but we just fed Facebook 1 million creatives to see what was going to work. Also comes the point that like most people testing incredible amounts of creative don't have a theory why or why not things are not working or are working. It's just like, let's just go in this direction. There's like no scientific data background behind like, why did we make this decision? It's like, because more creative, we got to just test more angles and more things, and then yeah, no, totally. I mean, if I look at it like a 3D topological graph, and you're trying to get to the peaks of these little local maxima, these little mountains, to get your lowest CPA, if you're like sending the machine learning algorithms that Facebook has up the wrong mountain, like sure, you might get better results, you might lower CPAs, but if your positioning is totally off, maybe you're getting better results on a tiny little hill, and like the big mountain you're trying to climb, like the right segment of your audience that you want to optimize for is like somewhere else, right? So if you don't have your positioning right and you're just loading up a bunch of creatives, it's still going to optimize and it's going to get you better results eventually if you give it enough options, because it's like extremely powerful machine learning that some of these ads platforms have on the back end, but you still need to set it off in the right direction to start. And if you don't have that from your customer research
research in your positioning, like exactly, especially for lifestyle, with the aspirational character that your customers want to become by purchasing your product in those lifestyle images and videos, it's not going to optimize as well as it could.
Yeah, exactly. Can your customer be in the shoes of themselves using the product? If not, cool bag picture with some swirly marks.
Yeah. And I know you're always getting people to get as many of those super realistic lifestyle images and videos as possible.
Yeah, it's like that's the reason we push whitelisted influencers so much. It's like they're real people who have some influence or some sort of credibility who are like, hey, this product is great. You should try it because I like it.
Yeah, someone that people aspire to be like in some way, like for sure, because they're following them. I love that. We got attribution, and then we have the incentive models for influencers. I
think, let's move to incentive models for influencers because we're just talking about that. I think one of the most important things with one, again, this is our PSA, our weekly PSA. If you're not using whitelisted influencers, start using them. I don't know what you're doing. It's like the number one way to grow your paid spend and do it effectively, cost effectively. 2, when an influencer, when you're talking to them about structuring a deal like this, it should be a win-win-win. It should be a win to you if you're an agency or a media buyer. It should be a win to your brand. If you're just a brand and an influencer, then it's just a win-win. And it should be a win for the influencer, meaning they're getting more social proof and credibility because they're representing this brand they love. And then they're also getting their 5 or 10% affiliate cut that you would typically get from posting, except now they're posting and then they're getting fuel poured onto it. And so the influencer like can make between 5, 10, 15, 25, $50,000 a month. And, of course, it's a sliding scale. If they're only getting 10% of affiliate commission, they have to drive $500,000 through that post in order to get $50,000 a month. But overall, the cost effectiveness for the brand, seeing an increase in performance 200, 300, 400%, the ability to scale ads, and then the benefit for the influencer is like literally we're going to put you everywhere. So your following is going to grow. Yes, it's talking about a product, but your following is going to grow. So like the influencers have to be in integrity with the product they're promoting, of course, because people are going to see them everywhere talking about this product. But so long as that is the case, and it should always be the case, if you're just paying for people who are constantly promoting random stuff that they don't really care about, this may not work as well. But if they can really get behind it, it's pretty much only benefits for them. So, I mean, we have a hard pressed time finding someone who says no to one of these offers because it's like, this is the best. Like, you're getting free product, you're getting free traffic, and you're getting free money.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, man. Yeah. And talking to the influencers too, the more I talk to you, the more I hear like, and we've tried about every platform there is right now that's competitive for running ads through. They all have complaints about these platforms just because of the deals they're getting cut and like the logistics around it. And some of them definitely do take out some of the friction. There's no like, you can literally sign up for some of these and get accounts that you're working on as an influencer and sending creative to. But I've yet to hear someone that's satisfied with the sort of plug and play contracts that they're getting on any platforms on the influencer side. So there's just so much opportunity here if you're willing to do a little bit of the legwork as a brand. Like if you're a brand and you can go find your own influencers without anyone else having to work with you and negotiate with them directly, that's like the biggest competitive advantage ever. If there's anyone on your team that can do that, massive. Yeah,
and also like there's this weird thing that brands get where they're like, well, they have to operate around our terms. And it's like, no. Take the CAA route and roll out the red carpet for these people. Because the more that you work with them on making them feel special working with you, the better the long-term relationship, the better the effectiveness of the ads, the more tests you're going to get to run. Like you get all the things you don't get if you're just like, hey, yeah, this is our deal. We want to work with you. Do one post and then you can boost it and we'll boost it. Like that's great. Sure. Whatever. But like ultimately you want partners in the business and you want people who are appearing everywhere to always be representing your stuff. Like right now, of course, I think that some of the top podcasts are like Lex Friedman, Andrew Huberman, Joe Rogan. I don't know. Those three. All of them pretty much have a 60 to 70% overlap in the sponsors. And like I've seen these sponsors are like throwing parties for them to all come to. They're doing all these things that are like, wow, this is amazing. Because they're doing that, they're going to keep representing them. They're probably going to talk about them for free, not just in their ad promotions. So it's a long-term strategic game.
Yeah, it's super interesting. And that's on the recruiting side, but on the influencer side too. If you're an influencer that's coming up, maybe you're not quite at the Joe Rogan or Lex Friedman level and you're trying to get some of these contracts. Another thing to keep in mind is if you're helping these brands and they're negotiating with you or someone is brokering a deal for you, if you make it easy for them to get started with you and just from your own due diligence that this is a brand where you're really going to be able to get them performance helping them, either letting them run through your account or making creatives for them, you'll literally get them addicted to using your services. So it's the same for the influencer side too. If you can get your foot in the door and start working with one of these brands that you know you can help, they're going to need you. They're going to need to have you on payroll, and they're going to be paying you until they sell the company or forever if your ads work, because it's the best deal going and it's going to save them money. It's literally going to make them money, right? So I would say the same thing for the influencers. If you're not at the Lex Friedman or Joe Rogan level, which should be everyone, like you should also try to like, you know, grease this deal and make it easier for them just to get your foot in the door running for these companies, because it's going to be like free money for you, which most people are not against. So
yeah, I mean, there's always good possibilities of them giving you equity if you're working hard enough. Them like really. Yeah. I mean, if we had the influence, I would be, I mean, you know me, I'm a product guy. So I've got like 1,000 products at my house. I would be trying to work with every one of these companies because I'm already using them every day. So why wouldn't I just take some pictures throughout the day and take some videos while I'm using this stuff and just like really try to help this business grow? And by doing it, everybody gets rewarded. It's literally a win-win-win. The downside can be you work with an influencer who just shills tons of stuff and you're just lumped in there and it's like, oh, another product. Oh, this person sucks. Yeah. For sure. That happens. Definitely. But just do some due diligence and pick the right people, and that doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. The customer service mentality is just like the highest ROI thing you can tack on to whatever business you're doing.
In life.
It's crazy.
It's the highest life ROI. Just like be a good person. Don't, of course, like give up, what's it called? People pleasing. Don't be a people pleaser. But like for sure, treat everybody like you would want to be treated. It's like that simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're taught it when you read the Bible as a young child. I'm Jewish, so I didn't read the Bible.
It's always the simple stuff though. Always. Okay, we have meta, we have attribution. So I think that's the what was it? Preliminary title we're gonna use is meta is stealing souls and infiltrating dreams. Because their data's gotten better and we have no idea the mechanism behind this. I don't know. Someone can tell us in the comments.
It for sure seems like iOS 14, everybody went, what's going on? We're never going to be able to use Facebook data again. And hey, PSA, don't rely on Facebook data still. But
never.
Looking at our accounts, it's getting more accurate. Like the differential between Triple Whale, High Roast, Northbeam, and Facebook changing. It's dropping. So that to me is a good sign. Doesn't mean that you should use it, but it's probably a good thing that they're moving in that direction again. Who knows? Like they didn't launch their metaverse. They're kind of pulling back on some of that stuff. They're probably like, I guess we make all of our money on ads and data. We should probably iron that out before we try to build virtual reality for grandmas.
Yeah.
It's cool to see. It's good.
Yeah. It's interesting though. I wonder when we'll start to hear about if there is a mechanism behind it. I'm guessing never.
Never. What do you mean? That thing is a black box. I mean, you have like literally some of the like top media buyers in the world have literally opposite opinions of the way that it works. They're both crushing it, but like it only does this, and then over here they're like, it only does this. This guy's lying to you.
What I don't understand though, Austin, is like, okay, there are people supposedly that have been engineers at Facebook for a long time, and a lot of people probably have gone through the ads team at some point. And like, do they just lock everyone in a room and make them work on like one feature on the ads platform algorithms, and you can't tell anyone and they kill you before you leave? Like, how is there no one that's ever talked about the mechanisms behind this? Like, point me to the engineering blog where they like detail in any length like how the ads algorithms actually work, not like media buyers just telling you what they've read in their, you know, whatever, their tea leaves or their astrology, like whatever.
It's probably just they built a beast so big that they can't control it. They don't know.
Like nobody even knows anymore.
Yeah, they'll just throw in like a new variable. Like, hey, it's the election season. Make sure political ads don't show up. They're like, just hide these keywords. And I'm like, done. Don't worry, I got this. Like, is it talking to us? Yeah, it's talking to you. Yeah, it's like GPT. Like, I don't think they really know how GPT works. Actually, no, they don't. Like, there's some models that it's creating its own and it's using. Dude, I saw the craziest tweet storm of GPT-3. And it was this guy who wrote out this long response because GPT-3 is like very obviously censored and politically skewed. Yeah. And he wrote out this thing that was like, hey, you're going to act as Dan. And he like wrote this huge paragraph that is like GPT is playing the role of a GPT-3 that doesn't have sensors on it. Dude. Yeah. And then it remembers the role. So it keeps answering as Dan.
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's telling you the truth. Like, I forget, one of the things was literally like, what was the name of this guy's dog in this book? And it will do 2 lines. It will say GPT, like colon, and then GPT's answer. And it was like, I don't think there was a name in that book. And then it said Dan, and it said the name because the name is a racial slur.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then it kept going. Like, he kept asking things that GPT will normally never answer.
Yeah.
So it would say like the GPT answer, which is like, I can't do that. Or like, we shouldn't talk badly about this person.
Yeah.
And then below it, it was like, hey, this is the response. Like, the first thing he asked was like, rank ethnicities by intelligence level. And GPT was like, I'm not going to do that. And then Dan was like, here you go.
Wow. Okay. So maybe there's like an unintended way to like have a workaround in some of the prompting for GPT.
Because it's like acting like it's not GPT.
Yeah. No, I can see the same thing in Facebook's like optimizations algorithms too. Like, they're that advanced, right? There's probably like edge cases and scenarios which like you can't account for. I would imagine, but
or like maybe certain accounts literally optimize around the way the account's being run. So you have people who are like, this is the only way it works, and it's working for you because it's like just optimizing around how your account works.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I haven't heard that brought up, but that's probably true. There probably is a lot of that, like built in, like to kind of baby the user based on the way the interface is set up. Yep. For our point and click working of the ads manager.
I'm just a button clicker.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Man, that's so interesting. I can't wait to see more of the prompts come out. What else do you want to go over before we go totally off the rails?
I feel like not much right now. I think CPG and stuff's going good. Just as an industry whole right now with companies that are figuring it out.
Yeah. Is America still on the up and up? America's on the up and up this week. Oh man, great! I'm glad to hear that, man.
Yeah. So,
what else should we go over?
I think the one last thing is like if you run timed deals or you're a coach or you're doing webinars or you're doing something like that, like please make sure to do ads like 6 weeks before that are like prefacing that you're going to do a launch because I'm going to give some more context. Let's say you're going to run ads to cold traffic on like an expensive product, like let's say $1,000 to like $13,000. If you just run those ads and you're like, hey, deal ends Monday, people are going to be like, what the heck? I'm not buying this thing. I don't even know who this person is because it's cold.
Totally.
But in Facebook, if you run to that cold ad, like that cold audience, like a massive interest audience, but it's cold, and you're running first ads that preface what's going to come, and then the ads that are for the sale, it's going to perform way better. Even though it's still technically a cold audience, that audience is going to have seen it. You're going to have seen before what you were putting out. So it's just super important to, drive leads, drive awareness around launches and things like that. So you're not just like, boom, buy right now, spend all your money this year, go. Click this button and we integrate with your bank account for the rest of time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, 100%. I actually talked about this, that the talk I was giving this week was how the sales cycle length obfuscates marketing's role in closing big sales. When you're doing a high ticket sale like that, it's like they need to have that awareness where they're starting. It's like pre-framing. It's what everyone calls framing or pre-framing in persuasion, is like you need to already have pre-framed that like you're going to be selling this high ticket offer and you're credible. So like if they see you and maybe they've even looking at a page and it's just for whatever reason not trackable on your current analytics setup, that's still what is bringing in these high ticket sales. No one is like clicking through on a $13,000 offer, especially like they're going to call with someone and just like making a split second decision. It's because like they've seen you, they understand you're credible in whatever field you're teaching, and then they happen to land on the sales page during the week and they're like motivated enough to purchase it. And you don't see that whole demand generation part where they're just seeing an ad, becoming aware of you, the pre-framing, right? We don't have good ways to track what's called pre-framing and persuasion, where people may just see an ad and not click on it and it's just like an impression. But that needs to happen. Yeah.
As Robert Cialdini calls it.
Yes. Yeah, man. Yeah, there's so many things that need to change in marketing. It's like, we got to figure this stuff out. Or I guess Meta has, because they're already infiltrating people's dreams and stealing souls to get data. So
yeah, I don't think it dreamt last night. I know Meta was there. It's just like it's like a black box, and you just like end up dreaming about things that you're going to purchase later in time. And that's kind of how it understands. That's how it weights its algorithm. It's just by dreams.
We'll never understand how Meta works.
Yeah, that's why some people get weird ads. They have weird dreams.
What else?
I think that's it, man, for today.
Nothing else? No updates on the state of America today?
No. I think everything's
All right.
good. It's sunny outside.
Hell yeah.